Hi everyone, I'm Mark Cheverton, author of the Game Night 999 series of Minecraft novels, as I'm sure you're aware, because you're probably watching this on purpose. But I wanted to talk with you today about echoing. And it's something that I've really struggled with in my writing a lot, and I've come up with some strategies on how to fix it. Certainly a big one is a thesaurus, and I'll talk about how to use the thesaurus in solving some of your echoing problems. But today I wanted to talk about echoing in character names. And in my first couple of novels, I wrote 4 novels that were pretty spectacularly terrible and were never published at all. Um, and I had a lot of problems with doing the echoing for those. And here's an example of some echoing to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So here it is. Here's the example. Boop! I walked through the forest in complete silence. The forest was comprised of oak and birch trees, the ground completely covered with fallen leaves. So you can see I use the word forest twice in 2 adjacent sentences, and I have the word complete there too. And that can be distracting to the reader, and it can make it so that if they're distracted, they get pulled out of feeling like they're in the story. And there's a possibility if they're disconnected from your story, they might put your book down. And you never want to give them rule number 4, boop. You never want to give a reader an excuse to put your book down. So it's important to get rid of the echoing because you don't want the reader to become distracted and disconnected from your story. So when I do character names, I'm conscious of this as well. Now, some authors will tell you this isn't a big deal. It's a big deal for me. I don't like it in my writing. I work really hard at eliminating the character name echoing wherever I can. And usually it occurs frequently in dialogue. That you'll say blah 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 blah, game night said, blah blah blah, game night said. Well, I'm going to do a posting about dialogue and using the word said, which is not a great thing. So there's ways to eliminate that there as well. But when I create my character names, I do it in advance. I think about how am I going to use their name in different ways so it doesn't sound like the same thing every time. So for example, when I created Game Night 999, I can call him Game Night, I can call him Game Night 999. I also created a title for him, The User That Is Not a User. And I did that on purpose. I gave him that title so that I can call him something else throughout the story. So instead of Game Night 999 ran up the hill, I might say The User That Is Not a User ran up the hill. So I break up the use of Game Night in the manuscript. So here's some examples of people, and let me put this on the screen too with my magical powers. Boop! So you see Watcher, he's a wizard, so I can call him a young wizard. He's a young boy, so I can call him young boy. There's an old wizard, so these are characters in my current series, the Wither War series. So there's an old wizard, an old woman, and her name is Mirthrandos. And I chose this name, I kind of made it up because I can call her Mira. I can call her old woman, I can call her old wizard, I can call her ancient wizard. There's a lot of names I can give her that the reader will understand. Erlon is a zombie. And so I call him a zombie, I call him Erlon. I don't like to call him a monster because he's a good guy, and I don't like to use monster for good guys because that could be confusing. Cutter, he's a big strong warrior, so I could call him the big NPC, big warrior, big villager, huge warrior. There's lots of ways I can call him something. Krail, oh, he's the bad guy. He's the king of the withers. So I can call him the Wither King, the king of the withers, Krail. I could call him just Wither, but that's probably not specific enough for the reader to understand. It depends on the scene, right? If he's the only Wither in the scene, then that's a great way to do it. And his wife, Cora. So I can refer to him as Krail's wife, the king's wife. I can refer to her as his wife. I could call her Wither. So again, there's a lot of places there where I can do that. And so if you go down and you look in chapter 11 down below here, this is in the current book I'm working on, so you're getting a little sneak peek into the book. You can go through and look through that chapter and you can see where I'm calling the character different names. I'm purposefully changing the names to keep it interesting to the reader so the reader doesn't feel that echoing with the character names. And so I'm doing that on purpose so that this will hopefully make it flow smoother and make it easier to use. And also, whenever I do a chapter, I also use a word cloud, and there's a link. Here's the link. Boop. And I use a word cloud, and I put my chapters in there to see what word is used the most. And so here's a picture of the word cloud. Wait, let me go. Whoop. There we go. And here's the word cloud for this chapter. And, oh, wait, here, can I stick this on the side? Let me try. There. And here's the list of how frequently these words are used. You can see in the word cloud, the biggest word is glanced. So that's the word that I'm using most frequently, and this is too many times in one chapter, so I got to go back and use a thesaurus and see how can I change the words glanced to be something else. But look at what's at the top of the list. Watcher. He's on there a whole bunch of times, and I need to look at that as well. So this word cloud tool is really, really useful because you can really see graphically what's your biggest problem for echoing in your chapter. And I love this tool, and this came from Christy Hall out in Nebraska. Thank you, Christy. Hi, guys. And this is a great tool to look at your word use and look at how frequently you're using words. And later on, I'll give you an example of a story that I wrote where the echoing is terrible. And you can see that with the word cloud, and hopefully it will really show you the problem that I was having when I was writing these. But I hope this helps. Check out chapter 11 here and look at it and see how I'm changing the name of the characters so that I'm keeping it interesting to the reader and I'm not echoing those character names. Hope this is helpful. We'll see you next time. Bye.